So module 2, first topic, transportation. You can see the topics which we would be discussing in this module. There is topics under module 2, transportation, warehousing, material handling, packaging, etc. So among that, we had started this topic in the earlier lecture. What is the meaning of transportation? It's very easy to understand. Transportation actually it refers to the physical movement of people and goods or products from one place to another. It acts as a physical link that connects everyone, and it is very much important for the economic development of a country, for the growth of industry and all. Now, here you can see transportation functionality also we had discussed in the earlier topics. Two important functions, that is uh, product movement and product storage. This also we had covered. Here you can see the meaning of product movement and what is product storage. Now next topic is the principles of transportation. There are two important principles of transportation which we have to remember. First one is economies of scale, and second one is economies of distance. Economies of scale and economies of distance. So first we will see what is this economies of scale. Now economies of scale is a principle which explains or which states that transportation cost per unit of weight decreases when the size of shipment increases. This is possible because the fixed cost involved in moving the load gets spread over large number of units, thereby reducing the cost per unit. That means, I'll explain it with an example so that it will be clear. For example, the cost involved, the fixed cost involved when you are transferring or when you are transporting 10 kilogram of something and 1000 kilogram of something will be the same. Hence, when the size of shipment is increasing, the fixed cost will get spread over a large shipment, and thereby the cost reduction can happen. So whenever transportation is required, it is always better, or whenever we want to get benefits of transportation or reduce the transportation cost, it is always better to combine the smaller items and then deliver, rather than delivering half truck like that, or delivering it in batches, or delivering it in individual units. The thing is, even if you have to carry a smaller unit, even if you have to carry a larger unit, the fixed cost doesn't change much. But when you are delivering larger quantity, we can claim, or we can enjoy the benefit of that larger weight. Once again, I'll repeat it. Economies of scale is a principle which explains that transportation cost per unit of weight decreases when the size of the shipment increases. Now see the second one, economies of distance. It is a principle which states that transportation cost per unit of distance decreases as distance increases. This is also known as another term here known as tapering principle, which means that rates are varying or rates are decreasing with increasing distance. This is again almost similar reason only, because the fixed cost incurred will be getting spread over the unit of distance. So what happens when you want to cover a longer distance, we can spread over in more kilometers. One example I'll tell you here, a shipment of 800 kilometers. Here you take distance 800 kilometers will be less costly when you travel 400 kilometers separately. That is economies of distance. When the company wants to transport goods, like it is ranging over 800 kilometers, it is better to go at one time itself rather than dividing it into 400 like that. So what happens when the distance is more? When the distance is more, the unit cost can be decreased. And that is when the distance is increasing, the unit cost can be decreased. Same way, economies of scale, when the shipment size is large, the cost will be less, or the cost can be, it could be, we can say, spread over large number of unit. So these two principles you have to remember. Now, the next topic here is the participants in the transportation process. Now, a transportation process, when it begins and when it is ending, there are a lot of people involved in this entire process. Or we can say that it is actually a complex relationship. It is a complex relationship between various stakeholders or various participants. Major transportation decisions or majority of these work is involved by having 5 different participants. And the first one is originating party, also known as the shipper or consignor. Destination party, the receiver or the consignee. Carrier, government and public. So one by one we will see. First, the first one. First one is originating party or the shipper or the consignor. It means the person who is actually going to transport the product to the market from one place to another. That is moving good. Who is going to start the movement? For example, this is from sitting in Mumbai. I want to transport goods to Kochi. Now I am the originating party. I am the shipper or I am the consignor. Now my responsibility would be to ensure that I am using the shortest possible route, which will help to save the time as well as save the cost. And I should also ensure that the goods are delivered without any damage. And accurate and timely information should be, or status of the product should be delivered. Proper invoicing, all the bills required should be attached to it. Means all the documents also should be proper. That is the starting point, originating party. Now who is at the destination? For example, same thing, Mumbai to Kochi. I am in Mumbai and the person who is going to collect the goods at Kochi, they are the destination party or the receiver or the consignee. And what is their responsibility? To receive the goods and seeing that the goods have not suffered any loss or any damage, and ensuring or informing back that the goods have reached, providing all the information status of the goods. Third one is carrier. Carrier is that service provider or the transporter who is going to carry this. For example, I am from Mumbai to Kochi. If I am transporting the goods using, maybe if I am transporting goods using airplane, or for example, if I think it is okay, I may even use a truck. So that is known as the carrier, the service provider or the transporter who is going to carry my goods. What is their responsibility? Their responsibilities should be that, again, protection of the goods, of course, protection of the goods, then minimizing the cost, labor cost, fuel cost, vehicle cost, etc. And overall cost they can help to reduce. Then comes government. Government also plays a major role in the participation decision. What should they do? What are they supposed to do? They are those agencies, like we can say that they would be providing the good infrastructure to support this transportation. And they will be regulating all these carrier agencies. In India, most of these things are happening through permit. You might have seen All India permit and all. And through this All India permit only, they can move from one place to another. Nowadays, there is also known as e-way bill. There is something known as e-way bill. That also helps in moving, these are documents which help in moving goods from one place to another. Now, this infrastructure, these policies, these guidelines, all these things are given by the government. And apart from that, government also helps to build quality roads, quality national highways, quality infrastructure and all for the support of this transportation process. Public, last one. Public are those group of people who are having a large involvement over here. It is because of the public, or it is because of these people, that there is demand in the market. So the role of public is to create need or create demand for goods from all over the world. Now, what they have to do, what is their responsibility? Their responsibility is to cooperate with these transportation agencies and also ensure that they are getting the products delivered to them on time. So these are the different participants in the entire transportation process. It starts from an originating party, also known as the shipper or the consignor, from where the goods are sent. Destination party, receiver or consignee is to where the goods are sent. मतलब कौन रिसीव करने वाले हैं, किसको भेजने वाले हैं, कौन भेजेंगे वो originating party है, किसको भेजेंगे that is destination party, कैसे भेजेंगे that is carrier, through which mode of transportation it is going to be transported. And the government would be providing required infrastructure, required, we can say rules, regulations, all these things are policies, etc., decided by the government. Public plays a role by helping in creating demand for the products. So these are the participants. Now, very easy topic which you will be going to discuss now. It is all self-explanatory. I won't be requiring to explain much over here. The different modes of transportation, commonly used modes of transportation, we have railways, roadways, airways, waterways, ropeways, and pipeline. You can see over here. First one, railway. The major mode in India, especially in a developing country like India, it is the major mode or most important uh, element which contributes to the economic development of our country. It is helpful in carrying both men and material. It is the main source of transporting essential commodities. It can or it has the ability to transport huge shipment. Shipment क्या होता है? Shipment means the goods which we have to move. It is some places like when we are moving it through airways, we call it as cargo also. So it is also known as shipment. And comparatively, it incurs higher fixed cost. Now, Indian Railway, we know it is a government entity under the Ministry of Railways, which is operating the India's national railway system. And we know in our country, it is not fully privatized. It is still under the government sector only, and it is run by the Indian government. It manages the fourth largest railway network in the world. And you can see the route over here, but it keeps on like it is increasing only the operational route. So it is having the capability to transport huge shipment more economically. And in this slide, you can see the advantages and disadvantages of railways. Advantages is that high speed compared to road transport. Always remember we are comparing it to some other mode of transportation. Okay. Now here when we compare to that of roadways and waterways, the speed is high and it is quicker, it is more regular form. Okay, and then comes large carrying capacity. Railways have huge carrying capacity as compared to airways and roadways. Then it is also suitable for long distance. That also we know. It provides good protection or complete protection to the goods. Suitable for heavy and bulky products. It is economical. It is cheaper compared to many other modes of transportation, and it creates less pollution compared to roadways. Same time, there are certain disadvantages. It involves huge capital expenditure because we need to construct the railway station, we need to lay the railway tracks, rail wagons, construction and all. It creates huge capital expenditure, huge overhead cost also, because the expense for maintenance will also be very high. One disadvantage here is that no competition, because in our country it is under the government sector. Competition कहाँ से आते हैं? Competition is coming, of course, from airways and all here, but within the railway sector only, there is no competition at all. So there, it is just like a monopoly over here. Railways do not have any competition because it is owned and managed by the government. Due to monopoly, there is no threat actually to railways over here, and as a result, they have very casual approach. Then you cannot expect door-to-door service from railways. Lack of flexibility. You will not get the timings according to your requirement or adjusted according to your requirement, but we will have to move according to the railways timetable. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. Then comes roadway. It is again one of the oldest mode of transportation. It includes everything which moves on the surface of the land. All the vehicles which are moving on the surface of the land. And this is one area, this is, we can say, which easily connects the rural areas to urban areas, especially village areas and all, where we cannot get access through any other mode of transportation. Their roadways are the best one. And it is also suitable for locations that are otherwise not easily accessible. Here again you can see the statistics of how it has been in India, how the roadways are being constructed. Now here major domestic cargo is also moving through national and state highways in our country. Now here you can see the advantages and disadvantages. Compared to railways and all, capital expenditure is very less because you don't have to spend much on the infrastructure or the vehicles over here. It do provide door-to-door services compared to railways and airways and all. It is flexible. It is flexible. Then that is, it does not have much fixed schedule. It can be adjusted also. This kind of flexibility is not found in other transportation. It is very much suitable for short distance as well, and even not only for goods, for passenger transportation also. For short distance, this is most convenient. It does not include only trucks. Whatever is running on the surface of the earth, like be it taxis, rickshaws, everything comes under roadways. Now, it acts as a feeder to other modes of transportation. What is this feeder? Feeder means connection. Like we can say that road transport acts as a feeder to other modes of transportation by connecting them. For example, you are traveling from, again take the same example, I am traveling, you or we, anybody, we are traveling from Mumbai to Kochi. Okay, I'm traveling by an aeroplane. Airplane I'm traveling. Okay, I have reached the Kochi International Airport. From there, if I want to go to my home, definitely I need to take the support of roadway. Same way, if you are traveling from Mumbai to Pune, and suppose imagine your home is in Pune and you have some, or you went to meet a friend in Pune, whatever it is. From Mumbai to Pune, you traveled in a train. You traveled in the train. From there to reach the friend's house, you have to use some roadway, maybe a taxi or whatever it is, or maybe you might be even traveling by bus, whatever it is. So, whichever be the mode of transportation, you require the support of roadway. That way, we can say that it acts as a feeder to other modes of transportation. At the same time, there are disadvantages because it could be irregular and unreliable. It may not be suitable for long distance travel. Bad and unsafe road conditions, which we can quite much we can relate to. Lack of uniformity in rates. Rates means the fare, the amount which we are spending for travel. There is no proper control over that. And compared to many other like railways and airways, the speed is less. Now, airways, the fastest and most costly mode of transport. It is highly preferred for perishable commodities, which could be easily transported, where the life is short and the value is quite high, like medicines and all. It is in this huge variable and fixed costs are involved. Now, advantages. It brings world closer. It brings world closer means nowadays, especially with this growth of airways, it brings both international and domestic markets quite closer. And the business also can develop easily with the help of by transporting or by moving through airways. High speed. Of course, it is one of the fastest mode of transportation. Therefore, we can say that those goods which should be transported fastly they can use airways. Quick service, easy access. It is easily, like especially in areas where certain road transport and all is not possible, this could be used. No physical barrier. No physical barriers means where it is moving through the air. It is moving in the air. So it will be following the shortest route. Therefore, there won't be any physical barrier when it is traveling. Then it is natural highway. It involves no cost of construction. For constructing the highway, we don't have to spend anything. Of course, only for constructing of the airports, those things only we have to incur the expenditure. Otherwise, just like for example, if you want to construct a national highway, there will be cost involved in that. If you want to construct lay down a railway track, expenses are involved in that. But वैसे कुछ नहीं रहता है for airplanes or for airways. At the same time, there are certain disadvantages. It is the costliest mode. It incurs huge investment, and it is not suitable for heavy and bulky products every time. The carrying capacity is limited as compared to many other modes of transportation. It is affected greatly by weather conditions, and because of this, it is uncertain and unreliable to an extent. Then restricted products. All the products cannot be moved using these airplanes. Only those products which are specified, or certain hazardous items and all, cannot be moved through these aeroplanes. Then narrow coverage. Since airport facilities are not available throughout the country, we can say that airports are majorly located in the bigger cities or larger cities, and also in cities which is of some importance. Then waterway. You know, one of the oldest means of transportation. It has the capacity to move extremely large shipment at a lower cost. And it includes sea transport and inland water transport. Sea transport majorly includes like transport coastal shipping, overseas shipping, like that. Basically moving from one country to another. It will include large tanker, container ship, cruise ships and all. Inland water transport is basically in domestic area like through river, canal, lake, etc. It is even now in many parts of our country, waterways is considered as a very important mode of transportation. Again, advantages you can see: largest carrying capacity, suitable for long distance. It also provides protection to goods. It is the cheapest mode of transportation, flexible mode, because it is we can make changes according to our requirements if situation demand. And just like airways, these are also part of natural highways. We are not again going to construct anything on the water body. At the same time, disadvantages include again huge capital expenditure, huge overhead costs, because we need to maintain the port, the ship, the car, vessels, etc. The speed is low compared to other modes of transportation. Alliance required. Alliance required means many times the port will not be near to the destination. So what happens? If it is a very large ships and all, it cannot come near to the port. For example, if the port is a shallow port, the base of the ship will touch the ground. So in such cases, it cannot come near to the port. So it will be stationed or it will be anchored at some other location. From there, we will have to use some other methods or some other barges or any other smaller boats in order to bring the goods near the port. So that is alliance needed. Sometimes such kind of support will be required. Then specialized packaging is very much important so that it is not affected by the weather conditions, and it can be affected by weather conditions also. One more thing is, especially when we move in many foreign countries, when they are using these waterways, there are chances of pirate attacks also. Many foreign countries. Ropeway. Ropeway is something which we use for transporting materials in the hilly areas where the land is very much steep, and it is possible where uh, it can connect only the shortest route, and it is economical, more faster than road transport, especially in hilly areas. Like this is one example of a ropeway, how it will be moving goods from one place to another. It's commonly used in hilly areas. Advantages are, it can transport bulk material but at a short distance only. Lower capital cost. It is ideal for hilly areas. Causes least damage because hardly any pollution is created. Disadvantage is that we cannot use it everywhere. There is limited scope of operation. It is slowly only we can move it, and it is affected by weather conditions. Then comes pipeline. Pipeline is useful only for moving liquid and gaseous product. It is extensively used in our country for moving petroleum products. Around 27% of the petroleum products are moved here using pipelines, and this is the most eco-friendly mode of transportation. It doesn't create any pollution at all. We have to just set up this thing and we can move liquid items and gaseous items through this. Advantages: it helps in continuous movement of products. It is leastly affected by weather. It is very cheap. No empty wagon. What is this empty wagon? For example, a bus is moving from one place to another. It has to come back for the next travel. A train, for example, moving from Mumbai to Pune. पुणे से फिर वापस आना है नेक्स्ट ट्रिप के लिए. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू पाइपलाइन, वैसे कुछ एम्प्टी वैगन्स नहीं आते वापस. एक बार फिक्स हो गए, it is fixed over there, and it is very much eco-friendly. It is suitable for liquid and gaseous products. Disadvantage is that we cannot carry solid goods through this pipeline, and caution is required. Very much continuous caution is required to check for any kind of leakages, and it is highly inflexible. We cannot keep on changing its place from one location to another. So these are the different modes of transportation.